Thank you very much. What can I say when you have such a hard act to follow with all of these actors here? And you have Kostas Sinolakis, my friend and colleague, who is in some ways known. I'll tell you his nickname, Mr. Tsunami, because he is the preeminent scientist in the whole world who studies tsunamis. And next time that happens, I hope it doesn't, but you open the New York Times, you see immediately Professor Sinolakis said that this is going to hit here and there, and the delay is going to be such and such. And then, of course, my friend and colleague and co-investigator on Cassini and other things, Athena, who told you, revealed that what you're breathing is nitrogen. And I hope you don't get any ideas about that and distress breathing tonight, thinking that you're not getting enough oxygen. We have grown up with the oxygen, and but she is, of course, absolutely right that really we have nowhere to go if we destroy this planet, and it's the only home we know. So no more, and then we have our colleague from Mexico who has been to Star City. I was there once. And I wouldn't dare do anything like you did. My wife asked me once why I didn't want to go into space, and I said, I'm chicken. It's not for the lighthearted to go into space. But in a more serious vein, I just want to tell you that walking around in this sacred place, you can't help but feel the spirit of something beyond. And you may think that that's a very strange thing for me to say, being a person who has been chasing after the planets and sending instruments and making measurements. And yet, it's not exactly all the measurements that we make. And the fact of the matter is that we as a species escape the grasp of gravity for the first time. And it was only 60-some years ago. And we went above the atmosphere, left the Earth. And where did we land as a species? On the nearest object that our ancestors used to look at, and it was the most amazing piece of real estate, and here we were. And it only happened 60 years ago. So there is a new space epoch, and we have to face up to that. And as has been said, excuse me, I got some notes which I haven't managed to, as has been said, the moon was the place where we all went, only men, and Delos embodies the myth that NASA, the space agency that I served for nearly 60 years, recognized that Apollo and Artemis are linked, perhaps a little late. But they did, despite the letter that surrendered. And will, from now on, lead humanity to a new epoch, the new epoch of space. And this is happening, as you heard, at a perilous time, when our Earth is warming, the seas are rising, and this sanctuary of legend and myth may well disappear and become Delos, as Professor Athanasoulis told us. But it's now up to us humans, armed with space tools and combining artificial intelligence with ancestral intelligence. Even hardcore technical people like me recognize that dimension to save the sanctuary and the entire globe from the rising tides that threaten our civilization. So the ALPHA mission represents a symbolic beginning to propagate the message of hope and of action for all humanity. Delos has been, as you heard in the previous sessions, a spiritual center in antiquity where people from many cultures, as Professor Hagnotti says, it was the first example of multiculturalism, probably. And may this cradle of Apollo and Artemis serve as a symbol for the restoration of balance, in the words of my old friend Carl Sagan, who said, to save the only home we have ever known. Thank you.